Hello and welcome to episode 10 of the Year of Shame Challenge podcast. I'm Ross Grieve, and joining me this month in an absolute shocker, we actually have a full house, so
Hey.
there we go.
We're all so excited to be here.
Yes, of course. Hi Gav, hi Jayce, hi Si, how are you cunts doing?
Not too bad, fella. How are you guys doing?
I'm
Alright, yeah. Alright.
Fucking spiffing.
This is one for the history books. It only took us fucking 11 months to get us all together again.
People need to feel like they're being blessed with our voices. We got loads to cover. Let's get it done.
Let's do it. I think looking at the amount of questions we've got, we'll kick straight off in there before we talk about our pile flicking. First up, we've got Carol Dixon, and he has said he wants to know if our impressions of the PS Portal have changed now that it's launched and it's sold out, been scalped, blah, blah, blah. He seems to think that for his money, he should be able to stream PS Plus games, agree, and have local storage like a PS handheld, a la Vita 2 for
Agree.
Wi-Fi and hotspot dies, and it becomes a brick. So what you guys, what's your thoughts? I mean, I think I know what Si will say, but crack on, Si.
What do you think Si's going to say?
It's a bucket of shite.
No, I don't think it's a bucket of shite. Don't want one. Didn't want one. Still don't want one.
Don't see the point in one.
Yeah, I don't see the point in one. I haven't got a PS5. Can't really see the point of it. Everything else you could do on that, you pretty much could do on a PC.
I mean, it does seem like a shit version of a Steam Deck, doesn't it?
It's not even as good as a Steam Deck.
It's not even that. It's a more high definition Wii U controller. That's all it is, surely. I didn't give impressions of this before, but I've been looking at it. I've been seeing lots of people using it and lots of people putting pictures with their pets, which I still never will understand. But I don't see the point. If you've got a PS5, then surely you've got a big fucking fancy telly to play it on. Otherwise, what is the point? So why would you need a handheld screen inside your own house?
Yeah, I mean, it's like a shit Vita.
No, it's not. It's not even as good as the Vita. The Vita could do its own thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
Also, I think you mean a Vita for when you're having a shit.
I mean, you can leave the house with it. So I just don't fit the demographic for it at all.
I can leave the fucking house with my TV, but it doesn't mean I'm going to play games on it.
How long are you shitting that you need something that can play 4 games on? Surely you just get your phone out, play some Marvel Snap games, squeeze it out, and off you go.
This is for the Fortnite generation, is it? Where you can't pause the game?
So you're fucking playing it as you're walking down the road, walking into lampposts.
If you're the Fortnite generation, you can afford a PS5 and one of these. You're fucking doing life all right.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's not cheap either, is it? It's not a.
I mean, it's £200 for a phone screen that doesn't phone. In my book, I mean, if I really wanted to, you could use your phone, I guess. I mean, I suppose the screen's got to be a bit better, whatever. But I mean, and obviously it's got the actual whatever you call the fancy fucking controller with the flashiness. It's got that kind of built in. But I mean, like I say, it is not something that's for me at all, and it's not been sold to me. Obviously, there are people out there that are buying it and loving it, and fair play to them. If you've got a reason to buy it, crack on. Ain't for me. Never will be. Fucking hate mobile gaming.
At least I've just thought of one benefit to this thing. If you can use it to stream porn, because you've got both sides of the controller, it doesn't matter which hand you're using. So when you get to 99 change hands, you can hold the other controller to continue.
But then you're going to have to turn the screen upside down so you've still got the X button.
Maybe you could use something else to use the X. Doesn't need to be a hand.
Everything else is busy.
And if it vibrates, you can show it up your arse. Right, let's carry
on. Too long, didn't read. Not for me, but you do you. Next question, or it looks like a trio of questions, which I think is pretty much aimed individually at each one of us. But anyway, coming in from Mark Monaghan, Mr. Monty. Have you actually saved any money this year, or just spent it on beer instead? Don't know. I'd still be a drunk 90% of the time. So regardless of saving money.
The question there is, would you have bought the beer anyway?
Of course I would have.
Right, so now you've saved money on games, that's made that beer free.
No, but a better question for me is, because you've not been spending money on games, have you been buying a better class of ale?
Oh, but we always buy a better class of ale.
I mean, I did discover wine in the last sort of year or two. Take for that what you will.
I mean, look at my bank statements. The money hasn't been saved in any way. It's just been reallocated to other purposes that mostly include beer.
Mine's pretty much vinyl, and not just the gimp suit.
See, I was going to say Jayce has saved money he's went on sex toys, and he fucking ruined that.
I am Jayce's sex toy.
Oh, Jesus.
Please strike that from the record. Objection, Your Honour.
The second question from Monty, I think we'll touch on this later, but has Gav actually finished a game this year so far, or has it been Modern Warfare Seasons?
I have finished many games this year, and there may be some updates later. You just have to stay listening to find out.
Last but not least, is Jayce in the special guest appearance category? Now, I'm guessing that's alluding to the fact that you've missed a couple of recordings, but I don't know.
I'm always special, mate, and I don't want to give the people too much. I don't to get used to the joy that is my dulcet tones and extra swears. So sometimes I have to leave it to the rest of the boys. So it's nice and special when I do come along for you.
You're an attraction, Jayce.
Oh, thanks.
On that happy note, let's talk piles. So, according to my show notes, I've got Sai first, and the update from Sai is some Mickey Mouse bullshit, but I mean, that's what I wrote, so I'm going to pass it to you, Sai, and you can tell us what actual bullshit it was.
I was still on very much on the gaming funk, but I did pick up finally and play Witcher 3 and sunk a hell of a lot of time into that and just played it to death. And I made the big mistake on it in that I played the first area and then I saw all those little fucking icons on the map, and I went round all those icons on the map and I did them, and then everything else was just a fucking breeze because I was too high level for everything. Just to continue the story, it was just literally going, right, I need to get here to get to the story, and there was no breaking it at all. I just fucked myself over on that one, really.
See, I like it when a game does that. You can over-level yourself to the point that you become a god.
I do as well sometimes, but there was just no challenge in it then, and then it just became the story, and there's some accents on there that are just annoying as fuck.
A bit like this podcast.
Yeah. I shoved it on the back burner. I've not done Blood and Wine, but everyone raves about Blood and Wine as the DLC to do. But I might go back to that and do that. And then I picked up what was it? Detroit Become Human.
You picked it up? As in bought it?
No, not as in bought. As in I actually picked up the controller and started playing it. Yeah, it is what it is. It's an interactive QuickTime movie. Pretty much in the same guise as Heavy Rain was, and what was the other one they did with? Is it Beyond Two Souls? Two Souls, yeah. It's very much of a is what it is. Very nice graphically, but other than that, it's all substance and not really a lot of challenge in there. Not yet, anyway. Other than that, been playing a bit of Peglin and a bit of WW Supercard, which relaunched this week with a full update, so it's almost like a brand new game again. It basically I'm sure Marvel Snap does this as well, Jayce. Is it like after a year or so it wipes everything, nerfs all the cards down so they can put in more
Marvel
tiers?
Snap doesn't need to because it's fucking amazing and the best thing ever, so it doesn't need updating with unlike your Men in Tights bullshit game.
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with Men in Tights. Spandex for the win.
Whatever gets you off. You do you.
But other than that, no Mickey Mouse bullshit, but we'll come to the Mickey Mouse bullshit later on with what's coming out next month.
So just to touch back, what was your total played time on The Witcher 3?
It was 130 hours.
Ah, fucking hell. That's like 10%. I don't know.
Oh mate, I once I'd done that first area, going around and killing all the monster nests and being that overpowered, it was just like, I can't be fucked choring and grinding through all those again, just because it was literally travel to this point, hit it. Okay, that's it, done. Thanks. Off to the next bit. And it's just like I didn't want to go through 3 areas of that. I just wanted to get the story done and lay it to rest.
Yeah, I put probably more than 150 hours into fucking Gwent when I played it. I think my total playtime was at like 600 when I finished it.
Totally didn't get the whole thing with Gwent. I remember everyone raving about Gwent. I played it twice and was just like, that's a pile of shite in this game.
You shut your whore mouth.
Didn't get involved with it, didn't like it, didn't want to do it, didn't do it at all, didn't touch it. Oh, do you play Gwent? Fuck off.
That said, the standalone Gwent game that they released, I could not get into that at all. They just changed far too many mechanics from the actual game. Wasn't for me. But hey ho.
It almost felt like a thing, and Rockstar are bad for doing this and putting it into games. It felt like something they put into the game just to make you play that element of it, so you weren't playing the game.
I love it. I love a card game in an RPG, though. Obviously, the old Final Fantasies used to have their card games. Final Fantasy 8 and 9 had some fantastic ones. I used to spend many an hour in those things, which is Gwent would probably be the only reason I'd play The Witcher.
You could, role play as the master Gwent man. Go get all your cards. Sure, there's an achievement for that. No, actually got that despite fucking 600 hours in the game, bastards. Anyway, before we jump onto Gav's tits, we've got a question from Toby James, and he is asking, what random character from a film would you like to see in an old school point and click adventure? Since you've just...
I got one.
Oh, crack on.
I thought about this whilst I was waffling shit before, and I didn't actually know what he was talking about. I think, what about Liam Neeson from Taken, and you using your point and click adventure to find these cunts and kill them? That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
That is quite a nice idea. You could say the same about John Wick.
No, because imagine how fast you'd be clicking. I did think this, but then I'd be you'd be like click, like, clicking all these motherfuckers. You'd have a right wanker's cramp, like more than normal.
See, well, on the basis that John Wick's just been taken. Oh wait, that's Liam Neeson. I'd quite like a Chewbacca game. No, there'd be no fucking talking, just. Then I'd love to see him just rip somebody's
Press
arms
X to
off. What about Gav? What's Gav got?
To be fair, mate, I don't think I can limit myself to one character, but I'd like to see a point and click game with a Red Dwarf team. I just think that would be brilliant.
I could be into that with the humour in that as well.
Yeah. As long as the humour was done right, it would be brilliant.
Give that shit to LucasArts.
A job for Greg, I reckon.
Oh, that Greg. That took a minute. Fucking hell. Who the fuck is Greg? Who's Greg? Giddens. Yeah.
The Giddens.
Jesus. What you've been playing this month, Gav?
Well, I've been playing a bit of Titanfall. We've had a couple of Friday nights where we've been messing about on it, and usually we stick to the private matches because the amount of time that game's been out, the level of people that are still playing it on public matches, it's ridiculous. They bounce it off walls, and I can barely hit them with a submachine gun, let alone anything else.
Let's be honest, they're all cheating bastards. They're all using bots and stuff. It's not that we're old and decrepit anymore.
Not that at all, no.
They're all just little cheating bastards. 100%.
So a conversation was had that I still haven't completed the single-player campaign of Titanfall 2. So that's the task I set myself to completing this month, was to run through the campaign, swearing at the bloody wall jumps, which I fucking hate in games. And yeah, I've completed the campaign in that, chalked that one off.
What difficulty did you play it on?
Oh, fuck it. At one point, it chucked down to lowest possible difficulty just to get it through, mate. It was get it done.
Ross, just fucking kick this guy out with you.
I mean, for fuck's sake, mate, it's not Rocket League. I mean,
Does it make you feel a lot worse when the game asks to lower the difficulty because you've died repeatedly on a jumping section versus actually shooting at people?
No, the difficulty was in that I loaded into one section with this boss right on top of me, and I couldn't remember the bloody controls. I was figuring out the controls, trying to beat this boss and just dying repeatedly. So I lowered it, carried on beating him, and then carried on. It's done. I'm not going to go back and replay it. The story was good. I really enjoyed it. That was probably one of the highlights of playing it. Really good set pieces in it.
Yeah, it was a fucking cracking game.
It was, yeah. I've started playing, I've carried on playing Modern Warfare 2 just because there's a really good set of skins out in the season.
Off.
No,
nobody cares.
They've done a Halloween event, and the skins are all the spawn skins,
pumpkins.
And they're fucking brilliant.
Remember when Call of Duty just used to be about soldiers shooting each other?
I want those spawn skins. Actually, Spawn was a soldier. If you look at the background of it, mate.
Fuck off! You came what I mean. It's like it's the Fortnite effect. We need to put all these airy fairy cunts in their fucking game.
Is fucking Homelander not in Modern Warfare 2 now?
He was in the summer season, I think. And Starchild, I think, was there as well.
That literally is Fortnite with more pixels. Fuck off.
So yeah, and I've started playing my gift, which was Modern Warfare 3.
How's that as a DLC for 2?
It is. It's a DLC for Modern Warfare 2 rather than a standalone game. I tell you, the one thing that really annoys me is that you've got to load into this like Call of Duty app now program before you choose whether you go into Modern Warfare 3, Modern Warfare 2, Warzone. It's fucking annoying, is what it is. I'll choose which game I want to load up and when I want to load it. I don't need an extra form of software to help me choose. It's just shit.
On that fucking note, though, because it's obviously they've done it as more of a launcher opposed to like the individual games now. I fired up the Xbox maybe last week. When did 3 release? Around about that time, anyway.
10th of November.
And I had an update for Modern Warfare 2, which was 213 gig.
Yes, that's the new install size.
What?
That was Modern Warfare 3.
It was like, yeah, here's Modern Warfare 3. So to be fair, if you were to turn around and buy it at some point, you don't have to fucking download it again. But fuck
you
off.
Probably will. There'll be an update, but between now and then, which will be
like,
another 213 gig. But
I mean, they classed that as an update. Fuck off. That's like, I mean, that's a quarter of people's hard drives.
I'd have been downloading that for the next fucking 2 years, man. Fuck's sake.
The only good news is I've got really fast broadband now, so it downloaded really quickly. But still, I mean, if you're on like a 30 meg connection, I bloody sympathy with you for anything to do with Modern Warfare now.
I mean, you downloaded it really quickly, but it just left you fucking depressed quicker.
It's good. It's got that retro vibe because it's got all the old maps like Terminal and Afghan as well. They're really good. It doesn't quite feel as slick as Modern Warfare 2 because it's got a slightly longer time to kill. But it's still quite good, enjoyable. Some of the new perks and lethal equipment are quite good.
I mean, have you touched the campaign at all?
No, haven't started that yet.
Surely that's one you can finish this year.
Doesn't it take like 25 minutes, people going on about it?
No, people are finishing it in about 4 hours or just over 4 hours. So for a 60, 70 quid game, that's a bit of a shit length in a campaign, isn't it? I mean, either that or they're just aiming at me and making it really easy and short to complete.
But as per usual, it got shitty reviews, it's really short, and it's sold by the fucking bucket load.
Was this the one that everyone was fucking wanking over the zombies mode because it was fucking looked like a real good laugh?
Yeah, that does look good fun, actually. I've not tried the zombies yet, but it is on the list.
I've seen some people proper cheesing it, like just setting up little zombie traps and stuff and just getting XP up the wazoo and that kind of shit. It's funny.
Yeah, I did see there was one sort of hack that people were running. Were putting like you get this little monkey thing that sort of claps and attracts the zombies, and they were putting that on top of a sentry gun. And I think the hack was the sentry gun actually levels up the gun you're holding at the time, even though you're not firing it. So they were just standing out of reach and then letting sentry guns kill all of them.
What's that take your completion count to then?
I think we're up to about 7, maybe 8 this year.
Ooh. Steady on, Gavin.
Dizzying heights.
Almost double number digits there.
Well, you might have a surprise for December. What can we say?
Gav's got like 20 games just sat on it 5 minutes before the final cutscene, just ready to go. Never going to happen.
I'm going to do a Ross special just before the clicks to New Year's Eve. I'm just going to drop about 5 or 6 completions. Just the horrible sort of 1,000-point, 20-minute games.
Where's the enjoyment? Anywho, before we go on to Jayce and his space rings, we've got a question here from Bob Normal. And he's asked, and I think we've had this before, so it should be relatively quick. What's your game with the highest amount of hours played ever?
Oh, simple. Spreadsheet simulator.
Football Manager.
Yeah, Football Manager. That's as soon as I start playing it takes over my fucking life.
For me, it's Division 2, 402 hours and counting.
Stokes? Rocket League? I can't remember your answer the last time.
Yeah, probably. Probably closing on 3,200 hours on Rocket League, something, whatever.
Fuck me.
Jesus.
That's been out an awful long time, though, to be fair.
3,000, was it 3,200?
Something like that. Yeah, but you'd have thought at this point I'd be good, but I'm not. I'm really still shit at it. But
To be fair, you've not even played a year of it yet. It's only 133 days.
I mean, I suppose if you half that, because if you factor in sleep, it is almost a year. Fucking nerds. Now, my game, it's got to be SOCOM, 1,600 hours back in the day. SOCOM 2.
See, that's fucking ridiculous. Rocket League, you expect it because you're playing it for fucking 6 years or whatever, but that is a bonkers amount for one game.
It was when I was, what, 14?
I was going to ask if that's what your sort of age was for that, because that's the sort of age where you get a game for your Christmas or your birthday and you just play the fucking shit out of it.
I mean, I still got all the games back then, but SOCOM it was my first real introduction to online play. So obviously I'd played the campaign in it, but I eventually managed to talk my dad into getting us broadband, and it was one of the first games I put on because it looked alright. Next thing I know,
if you'd like to hear the long version of this, please look back at episode 3, episode 5, episode 6.
Yeah, I'm sure we've been doing this route before.
The details of where Ross's grooming started.
Yes, we'll not touch on that, or maybe we will. Moving swiftly on. Jayce, how's your piles looking this month?
I went, I've completed a game. There you go. I did the old let's go back to a game that I've parked for ages, which generally is always a bag of tits because you jump in, and especially if you play at a fairly decent difficulty level, you don't know where you are, what the buttons are, and you're probably in the middle of a big shitstorm, which usually makes you rage quit. But when you load up Halo, you instantly know what the buttons are because you've been playing it for fucking years. So I loaded Halo Infinite back up, and much like the last game that I completed, I found out I wasn't very far from the end because I mainlined the campaign, and I think I was like 4 missions or something, 5 missions from the end. But had a really good time being back into Halo. I was most of the way through my heroic run. So obviously when you get a Halo game, you go through solo heroic, then you play through co-op legendary with someone, and then you do your solo legendary run. That's the way forward. So this was most of the way through my heroic run. I think I'd left it in the middle of a corridory section, which was pretty fucking evil. So once I got through that, got myself back orientated with the Master Chief himself, blasted through, and I really enjoyed it. Obviously, it got me back into the Halo lore and remembering what was actually going on. And yeah, great game. So if you haven't played Halo Infinite, go and do it. Other than that, not a lot. Obviously, some Rocket League's been going on. Obviously, some Hades been going on. Last episode, we had a lot of discussions about gifts because it seemed that everybody was getting gifts left, right, and fucking everywhere. I have a gift to declare. I had a voucher for Very, and it ran out on a certain day. And the wife was like, "Go and buy yourself something." I was like, "I don't want anything." She was like, "You do want something." And I was like, "Well, the only thing I want is my MetaQuest free." And she was like, "Well, let me gift it to you, and you can use your £50 voucher." So I've had a gift of a MetaQuest free. Now, before you start jumping on me, I haven't bought any games for it. So I have a fancy headset which I have been trying out the free experiences and stuff, like walking around the ISS and flying around the ISS, and I've yet to try porn on it. I want to save myself when nobody's here. But yeah, I'm resisting buying any games, which is really tough when there's lots of good-looking VR things on the store. So
perfect timing with the sale, isn't it?
The perfect timing is the fact that bloody Half-Life Alyx is really, really cheap on Steam at the minute, and I can connect it to Steam for VR. So I might have to miss a sale from £50 down to $16.99 because of this stupid challenge. More on this later, maybe.
Do you have any games on Steam that are Steam VR compatible, Jayce?
No, I don't know. I looked through and I have none, because why would I buy them when I don't have VR?
No, but there's some games that's just like it's there. It's like I didn't buy Star Wars Squadrons for VR, but it was there.
That's where I was going to go. You've got Game Pass, you've got Star Wars Squadrons.
It won't work through Steam, though, will it? I don't know how.
Yeah, good point.
I don't know if any Xbox stuff will connect through, so probably not. But yeah, I'm looking forward to linking up the old Steam with it and giving it a go. But honestly, this MetaQuest 3 thing, I know that Dave Southall got one before I did, and he was raving about it, and I've watched a lot of reviews and I've read a lot about it, and I've had a PSVR for a long time and really love that shit. But this thing is just fucking beyond, mate. It's so good. I don't know, everyone who's in the VR space on YouTube now is absolutely raving about this thing, saying it's better than some of the PC only headsets. And it's got this fucking colour pass-through thing, so you can walk around with it on your face and still see what you're doing and read messages on your phone and drink your coffee. It's fucking brilliant. Yeah, that's me. I've been enjoying VR.
Yeah, I've got a MetaQuest 1. Well, it wasn't a MetaQuest, it was just the first one, and that is still fucking amazing to me. And the MetaQuest 2 was the next level, and from what I'm reading on 3, it's gone up another notch as well.
It's like 6 times as good as the Quest 2 or something. It's fucking bonkers, man. And yeah, it's so immersive. But yeah, it's one of those, I can see how people get into the buying all the accessories and buying all the different things that make it better, like extended battery and stuff like that. So yeah, looking forward to diving a bit further into that next month. Next year, sorry.
If you want to do a bit of digging as well, it's one of the things that I did with the first one was I went into developer mode and for Beat Saber, and you could, because Beat Saber at the time was like very, very limited of what tracks you could have. And if you go into develop mode, there's websites dedicated to just like every type of song imaginable where people have made their own tracks up, and you can have hours upon hours upon hours of tracks.
I can have hours upon hours trying to be good at the easy ones on fucking Beat Saber, mate, to be honest. Fucking hell, I'm shit at that. I'm a big fucking lummox on that game.
The other thing you're going to have to try, Jayce, I spoke to Dave about this the other day. Have you seen a Steam game called Don't Scream? It's a VR game.
I haven't, no. I haven't seen one.
It's basically a wander around. You wander around this forest in VR for 18 minutes.
Yeah, I'm done, mate. No thanks.
But it's linked to your microphone, and these things jump out at you or pop up in front of you. And if you scream, you go back to the beginning.
Yeah, I'd be fucked. I'd never leave the starting area.
No, me neither. Just out of curiosity, I remember when I got the Quest, it came with the Darth Vader games as a freebie. Does the MetaQuest 3 not have anything like that at all?
This one, if you bought it this year, you get Asgard's Wrath 2, which comes out, I think, on the 15th of December. That's bundled free with it. That might appear in my library because it's free.
You got roughly 26 days for your first game.
Yeah, fuck you all. I don't care. It's fucking.
It's free. It came with the gift. To be fair,
it came with the gift. I don't like gifts. You know this. That's why I've declared it, so you can all judge me as much as you like.
It's the old hardware get out clause. Oh, I bought some hardware, but it came with 5 free games, so I just played them. Fucking bullshit.
To be fair, the Quest doesn't exactly give away games. It's more of a demo than.
Fucking Facebook, mate. They're not going to fucking give anything away, are they?
No.
There was this there's this fucking baseball one on there, and I thought, oh, that'd be cool, a bit of baseball to be on. It says free on it, so you fucking load it up. I think it lets you hit the ball fucking 8 times or something, then goes, right, now you get your 20 quid a month fucking subscription thing. I was like, this is the most fucking Facebook thing I've ever seen. Thanks, Zuck, you prick.
There's a nice bowling game there as well, if you used to like the old Wii bowling.
I mean, can you not just go fucking bowling?
Yeah, but that involves fucking people, doesn't it? So fuck that shit.
Fucking people. Whoever
It's a different kind of bowling they do. Anyway, that's me. Yeah, more games to be played for next time. Probably not.
Have you got a shopping list of what you're picking up in not December?
Yeah, I've got the wish list going on the old MetaQuest store. There's quite a few things flying into that, so it could be an expensive bit of January.
Keep an eye on your emails as well, because MetaQuest occasionally just throw you a free £5 voucher.
He's had 10 of them, but they all expire on the 31st of December. He's fucked.
Probably. Fucking hard, not to just go, oh, I'll just fucking buy that. Especially like tomorrow's payday, and I'm like, ooh, look at all this money that could be going in this store. But no, I won't. I'll be strong for you boys, for the audience.
Fine, we have spies everywhere. We'll know.
Pray for Jayce.
You mean you've got Dave looking at my fucking
Yeah,
profile?
pretty much, because he's
literally the only person I've added.
Right, before I talk about my piles, I mean, I'm got to ask the question. I know what the answer's got to be, Jayce, but I need to read it. From a certain Mr. Dave Packer.
He's outdone himself this month.
Well, that's that. I mean, I liked it. That's why I've got to ask it, and I know there's got to be a fuck off Dave or something in there. But do any of you share the name of an American situational comedy that ran for 181 episodes between 1978 and 1986 and starred Gary Coleman, i.e., Jason, different Stokes?
Jayce, before you answer that, should we just figure out if Ross knows what a series is that ended in 1986? Because it probably predates him, doesn't it?
Yes, 2 years before I was born.
Different strokes it takes. Different strokes to rule the world. Yes, I'm that old.
What you talking about?
I'm youngish. I'm not young
Just get
anymore,
it watched. Shut up. It's amazing.
I watched old shit.
Don't watch 181 episodes, though. I didn't realise there were that many. That's fucking ridiculous.
It was the 1980s Fresh Prince.
Tell you one series I did watch, and it could fit in with Dave's theme of ripping the piss out your name. I watched a lot of Jayce and the Field Warriors.
That's why my name is spelt that way. That's why my name is spelt in that fashion, because Jayce and the Field Warriors is the greatest thing ever made. Anyway, thanks, Dave. You've done well. Congratulations. Gold star. If you come back next week asking about Brushstrokes, which was also around in the 80s, I'll be very impressed. And then see what else you can come up with.
Right.
Ross, what have you been playing?
My piles. I'll be honest, I don't know where I left it last month. I think I'd finished something, maybe.
Yeah, I think you finished Game Pass last month.
Pretty much right after the last recording, I started Tiny Troopers.
Oh, I think I've got that in the pile as well.
I mean, it kind of plays it doesn't play the same, but it's kind of reminiscent of Cannon Fodder, in that you've got your little soldier men sent on missions. You complete them, your little guy gets leveled up, and eventually becomes a general and all that shit with increased health and bullshit that wasn't in Cannon Fodder. But no, I really, really quite enjoyed it. A good few hours were spent working. Doing that. Moving on from Tiny Trooper, I actually revisited the one that made me rage quit last month, which was Rocket Knight, and it literally took me five minutes to finish it from where I was. So yeah, rage quitting doesn't solve everything. I think I just needed to kind of sleep on it for a bit. And it was kind of niggling away at the back of my mind, saying you can't leave a game on the last fucking boss. So yeah, downloaded it again because it's like fucking 5 meg or something. Really old.
It's not just me that does that shit then. Leaves the game almost at the end.
Well, more to follow. I think that was it, because I think I was playing Dead Space 2, or I'd started it last month. Maybe. Does that ring a bell? Possibly.
Which one did you start, Ross?
Dead Space 2, Gavin. I can give you a crinkly mycellophane right now if you want. On the old Dead Space. But yeah, another really good fucking game. I was played through Dead Space 1 back when it was originally released. Enjoyed the shit out of that. Scared the shit out of me because I'm a 100% shitbag. And there were a couple of times when I was playing Dead Space 2 that we were sat in a party chat, and people heard me scream a lot more than they really should have. To the point, there was one night I came off and I was physically fucking sweating. My back was soaked. It's just one of these. You know it's coming. You're walking down corridors. There's dead bodies, so you shoot them all because that seems like the thing to do. But then when they still jump up and attack you, nah. My Elite controller hit the floor at least twice during that playthrough because I fucking shit myself. So if you're thinking at any point of trying to get me to do any VR shit that's got a whiff of scariness to it, you can fuck right off.
Fair enough. That's it. So we've got a question as well.
Yeah, I wasn't finished. Like I was taking a drink. My fucking.
You're always taking a fucking drink. This is the problem.
The next game I played, I think you might, Jayce might appreciate it. Full Throttle remastered. Remember Full Throttle?
Oh, the
Yes.
LucasArts
Yeah.
point and clicky one. Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I played this. I didn't actually play it. I had a brief shot of it years back. It was actually this has got to show my age or how young I am. My uncle was babysitting me while my dad was doing something, and he was playing through Full Throttle, and I think he basically played through the full game while I was there. And he let me click about a couple of times, but he was a bit of a control freak. Didn't like what he was doing. So a lot of it I really I could remember.
Good when your uncle lets you twiddle his knob from time to time when he's babysitting.
Yeah. Oh dear. Fuck. Right. Compose. Fuck's sake. Whew. 3, 2, 1. Back in the room. Yeah, Uncle used to babysit me, and I remember watching him play like a lot of the sort of main bigger set pieces type thing. But when I was actually playing it, I'm not gonna lie, I had to fucking Google guide it because there was one section where you're on bikes, and it was like you could only knock the other people off if you were using certain weapons or something.
Yeah.
And it was really fucking frustrating me to the point I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then I read that, you needed a wooden bat for this one, a fucking flamethrower or chain, whatever, for all these others. But no, really good story. I quite enjoyed it, and I didn't appreciate it at the time. Now, I don't know if it was. Did it have a voice cast when it was originally released?
No, I don't remember having a voice cast.
But that's one thing that kind of stuck out. I mean, I had Mark Hamill and stuff was in it. A lot of big voices in the gaming space these days. Yeah, fucking cracking.
I remember that game being so hard. I remember playing it when it was not the remastered version on a fucking shitty PC, my first PC, having that game. And it was so hard because there was no fucking Google or Google Guides at that time to
you just had to rely on.
Yeah, you
remember when games were hard and you had to trial and error everything.
Yeah.
Or phone that number at the back of the catalogue.
Yeah.
Fucking £2 an hour. Jayce had a lot of input with them, didn't you? Hello, big boy.
Oh, the
That was a
0898.
different magazine.
I was on that, mate. Don't worry about
that. The last sort of block. So I played three games in relatively quick succession. One kind of falling off the back of what you were saying last month, Jayce, or what you played last month. Limbo.
Oh, you actually got through it?
Yeah. There was a Game Pass quest to die 12 times in it.
Of course there was.
So
that didn't take long.
No. So I loaded it up. And I looked at the load checkpoint thing, and I was three chapters from the end of it. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to play it normally. I think I'd got those fucking 12 deaths in the first 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking bullshit platform mechanics. But I continued through it, and when I looked at the kind of achievement list, I think there was something like 2, because they're all tied into collectibles, or is it eggs? Eggs in Limbo? Are they eggs?
Hidden things, I don't know, sometimes.
So there was a couple of them. So I went and I cheated it by looking at a guide and finding out what level they were on. Went and got them, got the ending. Really good game, and it kind of to the point, like the next 2 I'm going to talk about, they're all the same. It's like, for a game that has no speech or words like around the story, it's quite mad how good a story you can actually get for that, with like little given to you. So just sort of implied through what you're actually doing. I don't know what.
Tell me you played Inside.
Yeah, I done Inside straight after Limbo.
Dude. Yes, dude. That's the way to do it. Limbo first, then Inside.
I could not fucking put that down. That was brilliant as well.
Isn't
it? Did you get the? It can't be spoiler territory at this point in the game, but did you get the sort of special ending of Inside?
I've never understood what the special ending is, so I'll have to look back at it. But I completed the game, so I don't know. Probably not.
I'll let you go look at it rather than say it. It's one of these like, oh my god. But yeah, following on from Inside, I found one in my library that, kind of similar again, Little Nightmares.
Okay, yeah. There's a sequel to that as well, isn't there?
Yeah, which I really fucking want now, because I've finished. Well, I've done Little Nightmares plus 2 of the 3 DLCs. But really enjoying that. Wanting to see where the DLC, because that's got to tie in the sort of story side of things. But yeah, fuck it, 3 cracking games. Just that, to be honest, I probably wouldn't have touched them had we not been doing this. So
nice. I'm glad I could be of service, mate. Because yeah, I think they're ones you have to experience. I think there's something good about those games that just fond memories looking back and going through. There's good puzzles in there. There's, like you say, the story without a real story going on, and kind of you live your own story through those games. I think they're fucking brilliant.
Yeah, it's got me looking forward to whatever fucking Play Dead push out next. I mean, and it took them 6 years to get from Limbo to Inside, so what are we at now? 6 years again? They're going to be giving us something soon. At least it's not this year. But no, I'd definitely pick up whatever comes out next out of that lot. Like, that was real good fun. That's me for the month.
Nice, dude. Well, we've got a question after your little section as well. Blair Ferguson has said, what game that came out this year would you have jumped on, but now decided that it's not the dog's bollocks, and after all, you're not going to bother with it?
If I could go back and not play my Joker, it would be I wish I could go back and not use a Joker on Diablo. I got 100% caught up in the hype, and it was good for the first week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. Developer decisions, poor decisions. It wasn't Diablo 3, and nah, I could live without it. I can't see me going back to it. I've got no inkling. It's like sat there. I finished the campaign, but I've got no real reason to go revisit that. Which is disappointing on the actual amount of hours I put into Diablo 3. But you live and learn and all that, you know. Everything else on my list, I think I still want to pick up. There's nothing that's kind of dropped off. I just keep adding to the list as time goes on. It's quite ridiculous how much I'm going to have to spend come next year. We'll go Gav.
I mean, for me, I was quite tempted by Lord of the Rings Gollum. Seen the reviews and how it's been received. I don't think. Yeah, I think I'm going to dodge one there. Lords of the Fallen looks awesome, but Gollum did look good, but I think it's fallen on its face, isn't it?
I mean, it 100% did not look good if you've seen anything on it.
Well, before it came out, it looked good.
So do most
As
games,
they all do.
What do you say? You got in?
Probably fucking Harry Potter. I think everyone, like, where we said this back in episode 2 or something, I think so many people were streaming it on YouTube and that, and everyone wants to be a fucking wizard, Harry. And I just don't think I want to anymore. I think I've seen everything in that game. without even playing it. I mean, don't get me wrong, if it drops on Steam to like a $5 on January 1st, I'd probably pick it up, but I'm not going to rush out for it anymore. What about you, Jayce, apart from 52,000 fucking VR games?
They don't really fall in this category, mate, do they? Because I want them all.
No.
I'm just looking at the list now. I can't remember anything that I was really fucking wanking over that now I don't want to play. I'm sure there's some of them.
You still want to play them, like Star Wars and
I didn't give a
Harry
shit
Potter?
about Star Wars, I did, or Harry Potter. I don't think I gave a shit about any of these games. I generally don't give a shit about most games. I think I was touching myself a bit over MechWarrior 5 when that was releasing. Was that this year? It was January 26th.
Was that this year?
And
It is,
well,
Well, that's fortunate because I seen that in my library a couple of weeks back, and I was like, I kind of fancy that. So
maybe,
yeah.
maybe I don't want to play that now because I've not really looked at it at all. I don't know, to be honest. Sorry, it's a shit answer, Blair. Shit answer to a good question. Sorry.
Next up, we have the glorious section of what we've missed this month. Now, I think we've captured the list of what we have actually missed and not crossed over into the last recording, but I'll be honest, I was quite far gone when we done the last one.
Kel Surprise.
I'm a quiet person with it when I've not got a drink in me. I find it hard to talk.
Nobody knows.
So yeah, what have we missed this month? Does anybody want to read out this fucking list?
Well, the thing is, mate, there's fucking loads. So as we said from the start, there's loads of games this year. The games are fucking ridiculous. But I'm going to pick out a few highlights that I would perhaps be crying about a little bit. Super Mario Brothers Wonder has come out on the Switch, and I love a proper 2D Mario game, and this is meant to be the best one since fucking sliced bread. So that is something that I might have to buy the child for Christmas so I can play it.
I'm with you on that, Jayce. I had exactly the same reaction to that, thinking, I think my daughter might like that for Christmas.
Yeah, I thought the same as well, but you always think it's the best Super Mario game since the last one, which was the best Super Mario Brothers game.
Yeah, but you can tell from this one that it's going to have little secret bits like Mario 3 did and different fucking ridiculous suits to wear. So, yeah, it's definitely going to be one to get the kid and borrow the Switch while he's asleep. Other ones for me that are looking good. The Talos Principle 2 is coming out. I didn't play the first one, but apparently this is a good sequel to a good game. So that could be cool. Who else wants to pick a couple?
Lord of the Rings, is that a sequel to like the one that came out where you were like battling orcs, or is that just a genuine
No,
Lord of the Rings game?
I think, as I understand it, it's a standalone one. It does look really good.
So did Gollum?
Yeah, sure.
The trouble is, Lord of the Rings is such a good franchise and so strong in itself that it never really lends itself to games.
I think it's easy to fuck up for developers, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I really liked the Lord of the Rings ones back in, was it PlayStation 2 era?
Oh, yeah, what was the one?
The Two Towers and Return of the
yeah.
King, where it was kind of almost a side-scrolling
hack and slash beat 'em up.
Yeah,
thing.
that's what I was looking for. Words failed me there, obviously. No, I played the shit out of them. I remember, I think it was the Two Towers I rented from, not Blockbuster, because we weren't that posh, being in the middle of the sticks in Scotland. We had a Global Video that weren't very global, apparently.
Are they still open?
No, they're fucking well gone. Of course they're not open. Every fucking video rental store in town is now a fucking tanning salon.
Black money launderer.
But no, there was a period over summer where because they used to let you rent for a week at a time for like £3 on some of the older titles. So I think I rented it 3 weeks on the bounce. At which point I could have probably fucking bought the thing, but that was fun.
I mean, the other one that pops out to me from that list is Robocop Rogue City. It was one of those games that could have gone either way, but it seems to, the reviews and the reaction to it seems to be really positive and really sort of it hits the mark. I think is the best thing to say about it. From what I've seen.
It's only pick up for a £5 down the line, I think.
Yeah.
Alan Wake 2's there.
That does look real good.
It does. Good. What was the game they released in between the two Alan Wakes that had like a TV show as their cutscenes? You could control time. Quantum something? Quantum Break?
Quantum Break.
Was that the same devs?
I'm sure that was the same dev because there was so many Alan Wake references in that game.
I do remember it. Remedy, yes. Yes, it was. Fucking hell. I got bored watching the TV episodes in between.
Yeah, that was it. It was a great game, but then, well, I wouldn't say great game. It was a good game, but then a fucking 45-minute cutscene. I mean, I loved the premise of it. It was really a nice idea. It just didn't really work.
You love the what of it? Let's not let that go. You love the what of it?
Premise of it.
The
premise
what?
of it? Premise. Fuck you,
Premise.
Premise, that's it. That's the one I was looking for.
Do you even English? Oh dear.
RoboCop's on there as well.
What's the premise of that?
Oh, fuck knows.
Jesus, this is like fucking last month all over again. Welcome to 5 minutes ago, Si. Gavin just mentioned RoboCop. We spoke about it. Holy fuck.
That's that fucking time machine.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I mean, I specifically left Ghostbusters in for Mr. Stokes here. Cause
yeah, I just highlighted
VR. I mean, VR Ghostbusters, that no tickle your wee
Does that say PS5 VR there? Is it on actual VR things? Cross the streams and see if my headset fucking blows up.
What you do at MLGX stays between you and whoever you're crossing those streams with, mate.
Oh, I've crossed the streams many a time, mate. Don't you worry about that. There's another couple on this list, and I think this one might be mistitled, but I'll read it out anyway. Like a Dragon, Gaiden, the man who aroused his nan. Is that right?
Sounds right to me.
It's close enough, isn't it?
I mean, if you fucking pick a title that long, you deserve it to get named wrong, so fuck it. That's something to do with the Yakuza folk, innit? Or something?
Yeah, it's part of that like extended list of Like a Dragon games, which I think there's now about 743 different ones, and they're all on Game Pass.
I think that is that one that might have been Game Passed. I don't know. Fuck knows.
It definitely is Game Pass because I've seen it on the list this week.
We're going back into time machine territory here. That Hogwarts Legacy for the Switch, has it really taken them 10 fucking months to get the game out on the Switch?
Oh yeah, and it's a bucket of shite.
You have to squish it all down to fit on them tiny little cartridges, mate. It takes a while.
I've watched some comparisons. I mean, it doesn't help that you've got somebody capturing it. I think it's a PS5 versus the Switch release. It's just fucking everything. Textures are all to fuck. There's loading screens here, there, and fucking everywhere. There's a bit where he's flying about on he's flying about in his broom, and then it just pops a loading screen right in. It's like, come on to fuck.
But who's trying to do a direct comparison of a Switch versus a PS5?
Oh, Digital Foundry, because
fuck those guys.
Dicks to wave.
Even if you look at the FIFA games, that it's not FIFA anymore. If you even look at the EA football brands, they never release the same game on the Switch. It's always a legacy edition.
Yeah.
So how the fuck do they think that was ever going to work? I mean, that game was huge.
It makes me wonder what Microsoft's big plan is to bring Call of Duty to the Switch, because that was one of their sort of, what's the word? Whatever the word I'm looking for.
We've already established Call of Duty is Fortnite with more pixels, and Fortnite works on the Switch.
Does it though? Does it? So unless they're going to do something cloud-based, like pulling down that way, I can't see it working. But
I mean, there's got to be a plan because they've done Call of Duty Mobile, haven't they?
I mean, is that not just to try and tap into the Chinese and Japanese market? I don't know. I'm not a fucking business analyst. I don't fucking know. Pure speculation, Your Honour.
Right, moving on.
Yeah, there's one last game on the list of shit that's out that came out 2 days ago. I think it's a remake of the Super Mario RPG. Not for me.
Nobody cares. Nobody likes Switch games.
So that brings us to the end of that glorious section, which I think, to be honest, looking at it, we're not missing much this month, are we? We're in the home stretch, man. A couple of questions before we move on. We've got one from Jules Hazret. Is that Julie? That's a name change, a Facebook name change.
That is indeed.
What 3 games are your January the 1st purchases?
Probably Hogwarts, the Cyberpunk DLC, and Lords of the Fallen looks really, really good.
You've got too many games from gifts anyway. You'll be fine. You got fucking
Yeah.
everything already downloaded.
Stick with your VR, mate. It'll be fine.
Ty, what's on your list?
Everyone's raving about that Dave the Diver on Steam, so I might pick that up. But other than that, I don't know if I'm going to pick, unless something happens in the sale, the Christmas sale on Steam, and it blows my price point out the water. I'm probably going to be quite happy just like scanning through Game Pass and seeing what's been added in the last 12 months. And I mean, that could probably keep you going for another couple of years.
There's definitely a few in there I want to play, but if we're talking pure purchase power here, needs to be Dead Island 2 for me. I know that's going to be one of the co-op games that we'll play. To the point I've got my mate Dave basically waiting until I can buy it so we can play through it. And kind of torn. I mean, Alan Wake 2, I think that's got to be one of them. And then I don't know, there's the Cyberpunk DLC that Gav touched on. I want that. I've got Vampire Survivor DLC. I've got Harry Potter World. There's so much. What about you, Jayce? Have you?
Yeah, I've got some VR ones lined up for my January 1st purchases. I've got Beat Saber, the MetaQuest version, because I haven't got it yet. Bone Lab, which looks absolutely fantastic. It's the sequel to something else, which was really good, and it's got all sorts of crazy weapon stuff going on. So that'd be good. And I've just noticed that I didn't see it on the list before. Disc Ninja is a disc golf game on the VR. So what could I possibly want more than that? So there we go. Disc golf VR.
Where you won't get looked at funny for being dressed as a ninja. Did you say Bone Lad? Bone Lab.
Boner Lab.
Can't say I've heard of it, but hey, well, I've had a quick Google. It looks
It's
interesting.
apparently got visceral VR combat using a variety of ranged melee and exotic physics weapons. And you can be anyone you want, so I could be you, Ross, and be good at games for a bit.
If it's fighting ability, then you're lying in a fucking corner shitting yourself.
I might not get it though, because it's got a mature content warning, and being the shy violet that I am, I probably won't want to play it. There might be swears in it. Bunch of cunts. That's
all our purchases out the way. Question from Mr. Maltar, Paul Smith. Fuck, he's got to kill me. Smythe. It's Paul Smythe. Does me regret? He's fucked it. Does me regret using my Joker on Diablo 4 now the new Blue game is out? I mean, Paul was clearly behind on the recordings, isn't he? Yeah, fucking hell, Paul. I mean, I'd regret using my Joker. I wouldn't say I'd be buying Bluey. I'm totally going to buy Bluey, but that's for the kids, not for me. So
I was going to say, Ross, are you going to sort of use it was the kids' defense?
No, although the way my fucking lad's going through games right now, I'm like, hey, watch what you're doing. Use your profile. Profile. To be honest, it's not even for the point that I care what you fuckers think about me playing games that I shouldn't be. I don't want somebody tainting my gamer score. That's mine. That is mine. It's all mine.
You'll share everything, but not your gamer score.
Yeah, apparently I'm sharing a Fortnite Battle Pass right now because I had 3,000 credits that he fucking spunked on it. Alright. Cheers, mate.
Enjoy.
The next section's obviously what's coming out soon. I mean, there's not really a lot, let's be honest. We're getting close to the end of the year, and I think all the big hitters have been released by this point. That said, 1st of December, SteamWorld Build is coming out. Don't particularly know a lot about it.
I've heard of like SteamWorld Dig.
Yeah,
SteamWorld
Dig 2.
Yeah, they were fucking cracking games. I think it was actually Monty that got me onto them. He was raving about them for ages and put it off, and then I think it was one day
here
I
we
just
go.
decided I'll
This
play
is
it.
a city simulator thing by the looks of it. SteamWorld
That's...
Build. So
Yeah.
if you're into that shit,
Nah.
get on it.
You've just killed it, man.
Be asked.
You've killed it. Sonic Dream Team, Apple Arcade. Who the fuck plays?
What the fuck's Apple Arcade? Is that
Apple Arcade is the paid subscription service for slightly better games on Apple.
Are there
Fuck
slightly
that
better
shit.
games on Apple?
Well, there are some on Apple Arcade. They're just on the normal thing. So I have still got the option to do like a month's free trial of it, and I keep meaning to get around to it. But I want to maximise it and play as many as I can. But
all of the games that aren't idle clickers and shit like that.
Well, you don't need Apple Arcade to play Marvel Snap, so it doesn't matter.
I mean, there's one on the list that screams Cy Stevens, doesn't it? Disney Dreamlight Valley.
Well, that's the game that I've been playing all fucking year that is now being released. But it's going to be a weird one because it was going to be a free to play, and they announced last month that they've changed their mind. It's not going to be a free to play. So I don't know how that's going to work with the Game Pass. Are they going to take it off of Game Pass and then you got to buy it? I mean, I've not played it for a couple of months.
You and both the 7-year-old girls that play it will be gutted if that's the case.
Yeah. I mean, I completed it a few months ago, and I've not really gone back for any of the extra things they've added to it. So I think it's probably dead in the water off for my pile now. To be fair.
I mean, did any of you guys see that there was a rumor going around that Grand Theft Auto was going subscription for GTA, the next GTA?
GTA Online or the actual
Wouldn't
game?
surprise me at all.
No, 6 is the next one, isn't it? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the suggestion was that it cost so much to make that it is now going to be a subscription game rather than a purchase game, and it was going to be a bit of a watershed point to.
Yeah, that'll fall on its ass, and they'll make.
No, I don't think it will though, because look at the amount of people that play GTA Online on a daily basis, and the amount of money they make off like microtransactions on that thing. Yeah, but all they've got to do is say you'll make, your whole month's worth of microtransactions for free by doing the subscription every month, and everyone will be doing it.
Yeah, but I mean, Fortnite's popular, isn't it?
I mean, the thing is, there are people out there who play GTA Online and only GTA Online. So I mean, that's the sort of demographic they're going to be tapping into with that. But
how many of them are there?
I'm like,
there's fucking millions of. The thing is, the GTA Online audience is kids who aren't old enough to buy it for themselves, but the parents are stupid enough to let them buy the microtransactions. So all they've got to have is the parents that are stupid enough to pay the subscription for them. It's fucking winner, chicken dinner for these guys, man. Honestly.
I mean, I'm not saying anything. My mum and dad bought me Grand Theft Auto 1 when I was 10. I turned it all right. I'm a bit of a sweary bastard, but other than that,
it's still like running over a.
You're referencing the Hare Krishna shouters?
I was just about to say you're about to run. We'd still like to run over a stream of Hare Krishnas and they're walking down the road.
Oh, God.
Did you ever get the GTA London edition with the fucking Austin Powers Jaguar in it?
Yes. I think the only one I didn't actually get was GTA 2. Because I skipped 2 and went straight to 3, which I was still underage with, because whenever
It's so good, mate. It's worth looking back at. It's a great piece of nostalgia. The top-down GTAs are something else.
Yeah, awesome games.
Vice City stands as one of my fucking favourite games of all time. I'd play the shit out of that if they tarted it up and made it not look like a fucking potato nowadays.
I think the one I'd do if they tarted it up was released in the same sort of time was the Getaway London.
That was a fucking good game as well.
Yeah, I would love to have that as remastered.
All the Driver ones were pretty good.
You can never go wrong with a Driver game. I love them.
I had to get my cousin to come round and do the fucking training course for
Bullshit.
Driver.
No, I don't believe. No, people say this shit. I think this is the fucking biggest urban myth in fucking gaming that people couldn't complete the fucking Driver license challenges because there's videos you can watch people doing it in about 11 seconds. It's fucking a piece of piss to do. I fucking nobody needed somebody else to come and do it for us.
I was 10 years old when I bought it. Come on.
Bullshit.
I
could do all those things in a real car at 10. Shut up.
Ross, does that mean you were sharing your gamer score?
Excuse me, there was no gamer score back in PS1 days, Gavin.
I know.
Fuck's sake. Driver was fucking. It was solid at the time.
Games like that where the driving is the main mechanic, but you've got extra bits to it. I think we need more of that. Love it. Right, what else, Ross? What's on this list?
What's on my list? Avatar. I think that's a pretty big one, isn't it? That's Ubisoft.
I've not heard anything of this.
No, I've not looked into it at all, but what I'm going to probably come to the conclusion of is it's got to be a big map with a lot of fucking icons. You're maybe flying about in something that you connect dicks with.
You won't be wrong.
Is it like a reskinned Ass Creed then? Is what you're saying to me?
I mean, it's Ubisoft, so probably.
What avatar is it? Is it fucking airbending or is it fucking grown-up Smurfs avatar?
Blanky blue folk.
The water people. No, the water people. The blue people.
Grown-up Smurfs. Nah, don't fancy that at all.
Only other one on the list that I mean, what we got? Fucking Granny Blue Fantasy Versus. That sounds like a porno. And how do you say that? Nausea.
Nausea. Isn't this? I've just looked this up. This is a Vita game that's been released like from 2018 or something. It's a Vita game.
What?
2019. 2019 Vita game has been released on all the big consoles.
A visual novel social deduction role-playing game. Yeah, that sounds right up my street.
Yeah, the fuck is that shit?
Yeah, the cover art's some anime girls pulling the face. So no, you're right.
Bullshit. I mean, the only other one on the list that's coming out is The Day Before.
Yeah, that does look good.
I think up until now, there's been the speculation of whether it actually exists or not. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm
That's
not
an
holding my breath.
MMO, isn't it?
The Day Before what?
It's kind of like The Division, but with zombies. So
Yeah.
DayZ crossed with The Division, maybe. And there's been a lot of fucking, even on their own Discord, there were all their fans claiming that they didn't actually have a game to put out.
Wouldn't it be a shit zombie apocalypse game if it was based in the day before? Because there's nothing to fucking do until the zombies arrive the day after. Like 28 days later, you're like, brilliant. There's been 28 days of zombies. 28 months
28
later,
days before.
But the day before, you're like, oh, what's happening tomorrow? I don't know. Zombie apocalypse. Don't know. So what should we do? Just chill out.
Well, I was just going to say somebody should make a Shaun of the Dead game. That's a game I'd be in.
That'd be awesome.
That could be your point and click one.
No, it's got to be hack and slash, isn't it, with zombies? Got to point and click with zombies.
A fucking beer drinking simulator. Again, go down to the pub.
That's a shit coming out soon list, isn't it? You tell we're right into the dregs of the earth.
Jesus.
It's the dregs. It's the dregs.
Sorry, we couldn't type that one up, people. It's shit as it sounds.
There's not even like a proper Christmas release there at all, is there, either?
Is there ever, though? I mean, December tends to be quite a dry month.
For games.
For games. It's definitely not dry.
Right, that's the end of the coming out soon list, and we're going to move on to the last few questions we've got now. Brian Riley's been on, and he said, "Does anyone feel like doing this again for 2024?" Now, before we move into everybody else's answers, it's a good time to announce that obviously we're getting towards the end of the year. If that fact has passed you by, then wake yourselves up. But if you've ever thought that your gaming habits are out of control, that you spend too much money on games, or that you just like to meet up with some like-minded people to have a monthly-ish podcast and talk about your adventures in not playing games, and you feel like signing up, get in touch with any of us or with anybody from any of the community managers in the Midlife Gamer podcast. They'll point you our way. We are looking for the next group of people that want to take part in the Eurosham Challenge podcast for 2024. It's looking like another rough year with some of the things that are going to come out. So, but don't let that put you off. As you've seen, we've all battled through this year with only 17 gifts each. So you can bend the rules yourselves next year or show us how it's done and do it properly. But get in touch if you want to. But for me, I don't really want to do it again in 24 because I've got all these games from 23 to play. So no, thank you.
No, I'm pretty much on board with that. There's far too much that I've got to pick up, and likewise, there's the list of delayed shit that's coming next year. But just to kind of touch on the, come and join. We're getting closer to a new hardware refresh, I guess. Obviously, you've got the new half PS5 coming, so I guess Xbox will be coming soon. So you maybe want to get
the little round
way.
Xbox is coming out, isn't it?
It's like get next year out the way before potentially new hardware the year after. Perfect year to do it. So, I mean, Sy would be as well doing it next year, let's be honest. He's not played any fucking games this year.
Oh, I've played games, just didn't fucking like them. Would you do it again next year? Nah, fuck this shit.
That's conclusive. It's a no. I'll let you, Gav. You want to keep your hat in the ring and just keep getting more gifts for the next year?
This has been a great year.
I was just thinking that both you and Sy maybe need like a suspended sentence of 6 months for next year, just in case, because you
just want a full fucking 12 episodes.
Yeah, 12 episodes.
I missed fucking.
We'll get you there. We'll get you there, lads. Don't worry.
That's true. I mean, we didn't really hang about for Sy last month.
What I would say though is,
Stokes was
literally, if anyone's in the community thinking about getting involved in this, do not hesitate. Get involved. You'll have a laugh. You'll meet up monthly-ish, chat to people about games, probably drink some beer, and have a good laugh.
Yeah, and you'll all get to experience the annoyance of losing an episode, because I think that's happened to every year so far.
But on that, if you're not au fait with the podcast, we've never podcasted before, there's so many good tools. Like we use this thing called Craig on Discord. It's really easy to do podcasting nowadays. And the team behind that helps out, you got Dave, you got Stu. These guys will help you out, and along with us as well. So if you're daunted by the idea of podcasting, you don't need anything special. You don't need to outlay any cash to do it. Just ask the question and get involved.
You got a gaming headset, you're good to go.
If you're stuck when it comes to editing, there's plenty of us out there that have dabbled with it
and fucked it up.
What I'm saying is there's plenty of help out there if you do want to get involved, even if you just want to turn up and chat shit for a bit.
Next question, we've got Carl Dixon, who's said, I think we're approximately 3 years in at the minute. How do you, I think this is to the console generation, how do you guys rate the current generation of consoles and games?
I think that ties into Carol's second question there, which is where do you see the games industry heading? Like Sony going to PC, games as a service focus, Xbox going third party. Not really sure on that. Xbox fanboy here, but anyway, Nintendo's Wii U re-releases for the Switch, Steam Deck and friends encroaching. I don't know what that says. I don't know how to read that.
That's you got these handheld machines like the Steam Deck and the ROG Ally and all these things that are coming in. New machines that are disrupting the gaming thing and making it harder for people to jump on to the next bunch of consoles potentially.
Too much choice.
The thing is, well, let's cover the first question first about the current generation. I think the current generation has been brilliant. I think it was longer waited for us to get into this generation because everybody could see that PC hardware was going mad. Graphics card hardware was changing on an almost daily basis, it felt like. And there's been so much improvement in graphics with things like ray tracing and all these other things that again came to PC first, where they do. People wanted to see those things built in to consoles. We've got that now. It's becoming the norm. We've still got people fucking crying about fucking frame rates and all this other bullshittery, which is all part of the convergence to PCs. I've long said that the consoles are converging more and more towards PCs. Obviously, the Xbox One is essentially a gaming PC, albeit quite specialised. The PS5 is whatever is inside there. I don't know, a whole fucking factory of something inside that massive box. But yeah, for me, I think everything's going to blend more towards the PC side and everything's going to kind of converge more. I definitely think you'll get to a point where you've got a box and you're buying updated bits for it, like you can slip in the latest graphics card or whatever into a console box eventually. For vast amounts of money, of course, but and more VR. Let's go for that.
Yeah, I think I agree with you on that, Jayce. Pretty much like for the actual hardware side of it. I think though for the gaming side of it, we really need to have this cycle of fucking remastering a remaster of a remaster fucking broken at some point. I mean, there's good games out there. There's good original games out there in this generation. Star Wars, Jedi Survivor, great games. The Hardworks game blew up entirely. But The Last of Us fucking remastered part 32 boils my piss.
The trouble is, though, mate, you've got such long development cycles because games are advancing so much, and the expectations on games, everything needs to be fucking massive and last year for fucking 200 hours and have fucking ray tracing up the wazoo and run at 7,000 fucking frames a second and all these things. So much is expected on every release. If your game has the slightest bit of bugs, you get slated left, right, and centre. So I think they have to keep doing these remasters because they've got some code that they can do something fancy with AI and up rev it or whatever, whilst they're working on the next big thing. I just think it's people's expectations that push it that way. Without utilising AI to write games for you and to do the hard work, like the blooming groundwork for you, I don't see how we can get past the need for remasters as fillers.
I mean, I get remasters in that, right, the technology wasn't really there for what we wanted to achieve, but now it is, so we're going to give it another go. I get that remaster. It's when we remaster a remaster. It's just like, that's just pushing it too far, surely.
Yeah, you look at the likes of The Last of Us, which has had more fucking remastered re-releases than there have been sort of entries in the series. I'm obviously coming from the Xbox side of things where, you've had a game on Xbox One, which they've pumped out an updated, like, higher res, higher frame rate version on the Series X or S, and they've given you that for free.
Yeah.
Whereas you've got the sort of Sony tax of, we're not going to give you that for free. It's either a full price game or give us a tenner and we'll bump it. I mean, what we on? I don't know. The Last of Us 2. That's effectively getting a remaster, which looks the same, like graphically, but there's like an extra fucking roguelite mode in there, which would probably fucking tick my box. Had I had a PS5, but it's just a money spinner, isn't it? Little work for much money because a lot of people are going to lap that shit up.
I mean, going to his point about the Steam Deck and everything encroaching, I mean, I'd probably want to think back to sort of what I described as sort of the golden age of gaming, sort of in the 90s, when you had all sorts of manner of devices coming in, all sorts of different consoles, and it seemed to make everything better. Everyone was playing different stuff, and I mean, for me, that sort of variety seemed to make the games that were out better.
You always need a bit of competition.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't really matter what you're playing or and how you're playing it, just that you're playing it.
Unless it's a Switch.
Yeah.
And then you're just playing shite.
Or Apple Arcade.
I think that hopefully answers that. I just want to take a little step back to Brian's question around doing Year of Shame and shit. There was one that he left in at the end that we missed, so we'll just touch on that before we wrap things up, if that's all right. And he's just asking what game have you played this year that surprised you about how much you liked it? Well, Gav's not played any old games, so
That's going to be Titanfall for me, mate. Titanfall 2, rather. It was enjoyable. Really enjoyed the story, and have to take on board what you guys said about the story being a bit of a banger. It was.
Jayce?
I haven't played any games, so sorry, Brian, I can't answer.
my surprise it's got to be the whole Limbo Inside thing.
If you hadn't said that, I'd have been very upset.
I mean, that took me to November to discover. Like I says, I wouldn't have played them, I don't think, if it hadn't been for being on the Year of Shame. So, definitely a surprise, but...
Hang on, a positive for the Euroshen Challenge podcast. Let's have it.
I mean, Diablo was also a surprise for us, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, but the specific question was surprised at how much you liked it.
Fair.
Not surprised how much bucket of shite it was. But those two, yeah, perfect. One of the perfect examples of why you should do Euroshame. Discover those things that are sat in your library that you're otherwise likely never to touch. Does that just leave Si?
Yeah, I'm trying to think what games I fucking like this year. I pretty much hated all fucking games.
Not an advertisement for Euroshame.
God, what was the one I Cult of Lamb kind of like threw me for six, how much I enjoyed it.
That was a good game. I liked
Yeah,
that.
it's like I saw like the community talking about it, and it was just like I just started on it. I was like, oh, this is a bit cutesy, and then I got hooked, and that was it. I just wanted to just play it and play it and play it and play it. And that's probably the last game I fucking liked this year, and that was back in February.
Jayce, Cult of the Lamb. Have you played it?
No, I haven't. No, I think I had my eye on it early in the year, but yeah, it's not something I played recently.
I think that's definitely something that you would enjoy. It's that kind of it's the roguelike sort of side.
Okay,
So one to watch for 2024.
definitely sounds like my kind of shit. I see it's on Steam, so yeah, on a wish list.
That brings us to a not so swift end to proceedings for this month. It just leaves us with the domestics. Oh, do I really have to go through this shit?
To be honest, I've always wondered about doing the domestics when people are already listening.
You're telling people how to find us when they've already found us.
What you should just go is pass it on to everybody else. Give us a like, subscribe, whatever. Right, that's it from this episode of the Euroshame Challenge podcast. We will be back next time. Remember, we are looking for people for the next time round. So get involved, do the Euroshame Challenge podcast, and have lots of fun along the way. And we will catch you next time. Cheers, boys.
Thanking you.
Bye.
Right, let the editing commence. Goodbye.